Hi everyone, my name is Kayla and welcome back to Kay's Hidden Shelf where we talk about books. Today we're going to be taking a look at the books that I have hauled over the last few or several months as I am trying to reduce the amount of books that I buy in an effort to read the books that I already own on my shelves. So I will absolutely try and haul books if they are secondhand and a really good deal and a priority read. Others are books that I was participating in buddy reads for and I needed a copy of, and my library just did not have available for the time that I needed it. So there's a combination of different books in here, some that were absolute surprises secondhand, and others that were also sent to me by authors. So we're going to be looking at all of those right now. And we're actually going to start with the ebooks because I always forget to include ebooks in my book hauls. So we're going to try and fix that today. The first ebook that I ended up hauling is The Flowers Have Teeth by K.E. Andrews. The reason being that I've read several of the author's books and short stories and poems, and I've just adored her writing. So yeah, absolutely, this was an insta-buy as soon as I found out that they released it. And we have a guest here with us. This is Momo. He has settled in beautifully to our home. He's a recent adoption and he is just into everything. He's an interesting mix too. We found out that he is a Great Tabby pattern, but he is also an Oriental type of cat, like a Siamese cat, I guess. But just based on his body build and ears and face. So according to the vet, that's the mix he is. But yeah, he is just a delightful bundle of energy and he matches our child perfectly in personality, which is fantastic. The next ebook ended up being Uprooted by Naomi Novik. I love spinning silver and I wanted to try more of the author's writing. And this came up as one of the BookBub's sales. So I think it was $1 or less. And it was a perfect opportunity to pick it up as I've been meaning to read it, prioritize it for quite some time. The next ebook was Blood Brothers Beyond by Rob J. Hayes. This is a new novella within the Mortal Techniques universe, the series, and I love the first two books in the series. I still need to continue reading, but absolutely, I was picking up this novella when I saw it because I knew it would be an insta-read when I start continuing these series because there is a reading order, even though these are standalones. So absolutely, that had to be hauled. Last but not least in this section is The Grim Dwarf, Cursed Volume 1. This is a series that JCM Byrne, the author, was originally putting out as part of a magazine publication, I believe, and I initially tried to follow along with it, but I could not keep up with the publications. I am very much a novel type person. I have a hard time doing individual publications over a short period of time and trying to follow along with that. I end up, time is just a blur to me. Let's just put it that way. I cannot keep track of the timing, the release dates for that kind of format. So I was really happy to see that JCM Byrne, the author, ended up compiling them and putting them into a novel. This is around 316 pages according to Kindle. And yeah, this is just volume 1. I love the initial stories that I did read as part of this. And so I'm really excited to get back into it. If you're in for just fantastic fight scenes, fun characters, dynamics, all of that with just adventure galore, and somewhere in all of that there is heart always put into it, then absolutely this is a fantasy series you want to check out, or an author you want to check out, because he also does sci-fi and superhero stuff. So absolutely recommend this author's writing. Moving into the physical copies, we have Silence of the Dead by Andy Ewington and Erica Marks. This is book 1 in Bones and Betrayals. I assume this is a series to come. And this is a new release. Already, I want to read this. There's food involved and murder. Yeah, I want to know what happens. This is absolutely going to be an October read, perfect for the season, just based on this little description here. Silence of the Dead is a fantasy mystery with the wit of a detective comedy where necromancy is just another thankless job and the dead refuse to talk. And the killer has an unsettling passion for pastry-based clues. Total total win for me. I'm so looking forward to diving into this one, and it sounds absolutely perfect for the spooky reading season. And a huge thank you to the authors for sending a physical copy my way. I did an unboxing of it. If you'd like to see, they sent a bunch of other little goodies as well. Next is another ARC and review copy that was sent to me by the author, and that is Daughter of the Other World by Shauna Lawless. I can't tell you how excited I am for this one. If you have been following the channel, you know that I have adored the Gale Song series. This is the next installment, book 4 in the series, but the first book in the second arc of the series. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, I have just adored the series. I'm so excited for this. It releases in the UK on September 11th and in the USA and Canada on November 11th. So my priority is absolutely going to be this series for the next little bit. If you're not familiar, the Gale Song series is an Irish historical fantasy. Perfect for fans who love political machinations, captivating characters and arcs that go along with it, developments, and a little bit of magic and fantasy sprinkled in throughout all of it. The next one is The Lions of Al Rassan by Guy Gavriel Kay. I have not read a Guy Gavriel Kay yet, but I am planning to dive into the author's writing this year. And this was actually going to be a buddy read over at Tori Talks. If you're not familiar with her channel, you should absolutely be checking it out and consider subscribing. She has wonderful videos and content, book recommendations, but she was hosting this buddy read over the summer. Originally, I had planned to join in, and unfortunately, summer chaos followed, and I did not have time to read, unfortunately. So I will be trying to read this one to catch up and potentially join in and talking with others who have read it over the summer, and other friends that I have had who've read it too. So yeah, this is absolutely one that I'm really excited to get into just based on what everyone's described of it and Guy Gavriel Kay's writing. This is an author I am really intrigued to start reading and seeing how it lands. Keeping with the Guy Gavriel Kay books, we have A Song for Arbonne. Don't come after me, please. Fantasy names are really hard. I've had to do a few takes, and I am probably pronouncing it wrong. I am sorry. But yeah, this is a book that, again, I have heard a lot about it. It sounds fantastic. It sounds like it's going to be right up my alley. And it ended up being our pick over at the Keymark Discord for our buddy read for the month of September and possibly into October. So I am super excited to take part in this, to read it with friends, and to find out just how it all lands out based on everything I've heard, the recommendations I've heard from it, and if it matches what everyone has been saying as a result of it. So this is a standalone as well, which is very nice. We love standalones every now and again. And yeah, this is just one I'm excited to read with friends. So if you'd like to join us and this has been sitting on your TBR, or maybe you've read it already and you just love chatting with folks about it, by all means, check out the link in the description. Feel free to join us at the Discord buddy read and chat along, read with us. The next book was recommended to me by my wonderful friend Tori over at Tori Talks. If you have not checked out her channel, absolutely please do that. But yeah, this is one that she recommended I read. Now, Tori knows my reading quite well, I think, and so absolutely I was going to pick that up. And the funny part about this is the very night I was going to buy this online, I ended up getting distracted from buying it. And the next day I ended up popping into the thrift store, Value Village here, and lo and behold, there was a copy of it for $5. So that worked out beautifully. And if that's not a sign to read the book, I don't know what is. So this is The Curse of Shalian by Lewis McMaster Bejeweled. Tori has summed it up beautifully. So if you want to hear why this has interested me so much, go check out her video, her review on it, and hopefully it piques your curiosity as much as it has mine. But yeah, this sounds right up my alley. We have a man broken in body and spirit who returns to a noble household to serve as a page. And I assume an adventure follows, one with heart from what Tori has talked about. So absolutely, this is one I am planning to read actually in this month of September. The next book is one that I found for $1 at the library as a used copy, and I've been seeing this book around quite a bit. The story just sounds hilarious to me, and it sounds like it'll be a decent slump buster or a decent book in between some more heavier topics. But basically, it sounded like shenanigans, and I love shenanigans. So that is Masters of Death by Olive Blake. If you've read this and my assumption of what I'm getting into is completely wrong, please let me know in the comments. But yeah, you have this struggling real estate agent and a vampire who is trying to sell a house, but it is haunted. And then you have a medium who comes in, and yeah, it just sounds like shenanigans and spooky. Perfect for the spooky season as well. So I thought I would give this one a try. Again, for $1. It's worth it to find out. I love finding just hidden gems or ones that are really popular or hyped up, and I just never get around to buying and finding it for a really good price. So we'll see if this will be a hit or a miss for me. Never read the author, not overly familiar with them or their story writing, but it sounded like a lot of fun just based on the description on the back, and perfect for the spooky reading season. Also, it has sprayed edges, which is not common for me to find in secondhand books. So yeah, add some color to the shelf too. I knew there was another one of these, and it was hiding at the bottom of the pile, and that is another Guy Gavriel Kay, Written on the Dark. I ended up getting this on sale. It's one of those nice copies with the sprayed edging. Again, this is just part of diving into the author's writing. I read some reviews on it. I'm not quite sure if it's going to be 100% for me. I'm suspicious that there's going to be romance in it. I'm not entirely sure because everything I tried to look up indicated that it didn't. I don't know. So we're going to find out. But the premise of following, I believe it is a poet traveling the world, and the story that follows definitely captured my attention. It's also not as chunky as some of its counterparts, although that could be a bit deceptive because of the hardcover format. But yeah, it seemed like an interesting read. Again, got it on sale for a pretty copy, and we'll just have to find out how it lands in the end. The next stack of books that I have here are ones that I found at Value Village for about $5 to $6 a copy, and some of them have been ones that have interested me for quite some time, and I just have never found a copy for a price I wanted, or they just have not been a top priority in terms of reading, so I've wanted to wait a little bit. And one of those includes Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell. This is one I think most people have heard of. They made a movie off of it, as you can see from the cover here. But basically, this is one that I've heard enough about that I am curious enough to want to try it for myself. I don't know how well it'll land for me, but I'm willing to find out. I want to find out how well it sits for me. So this just ended up being a perfect find at the right time. Next is The Helm of Midnight by Marina Lostetter. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And this is one that just caught my eye and has sit in the back of my brain since its release, mainly for the reason of the description. This story follows thieves who They'd steal a helm, I think it is. They steal a helm, and it is imbued with the spirit of a monster from the world's history, which is a serial killer. And essentially, it sounds like this serial killer is loose once again to wreak havoc on the world, but is doing so differently this time around. It's a little bit more deliberate. And it sounded like a far darker version, like a grim, dark fantasy version of The Mask, if you're familiar with that. And yeah, it's been sitting on my brain for a long time, and I've been wanting to read it, and finding a used copy absolutely helped with making sure that this gets a little bit higher on my TBR. The next two I'm going to do together because they are books 1 and 2 in a series, and I was more surprised to find book 2 more than anything, and we'll get into why, but basically it is Child of the Night Guild, Queen of Thieves, Book 1 by Andy Peliquin. This is an author I have tried before. I really liked his writings and storytelling in the short story collection I read by them, and I've been wanting to read more of them, more of his writing, so this was perfect. It was a great find, again, a right time. and I'm curious to see how it goes. But the surprising part was where I found book 2 in the series, and surprising for the reason that it is a Kickstarter special edition copy with the signature and the beautiful end pages inside as well. That's not something I find very often, ever. So finding not just book 2 in the special edition, but finding also the paperback with the first book in the series so I can get started in reading it was just a super lucky find. And yeah, just definitely made me stop in my tracks when I found it in the store. But yeah, Andy Peliquin is one of those authors who caught my eye from the short story collection for combining grim, dark fantasy storytelling with rogue type elements, but also very human stories. And that absolutely caught my interest. And so I wanted to read more from the author. And now I have 2 more books that I can dive into within the series from him. Last but not least is actually a sequel to the first book that I already have, but have not started the series yet. But I've heard so many amazing things about it, and that is Bringer of Dust by J.M. Miro. This is book 2 in the Talents trilogy, book 1 being Ordinary Monsters. So this is a series that I've been really intrigued to read. Finding a hard copy for $5 in basically brand new condition was surprising. And so while I don't know if this series is going to be for me, this was one that I figured it was a good opportunity to grab it, because if I do really enjoy book 1, then I can just dive right into book 2. And if I don't enjoy it, then I have plenty of people I can pass it along to who I think will enjoy it too. So we'll see what ends up happening. But yeah, this was another surprising find while looking through Value Village. And that's it. Those are the books that I have hauled over the last few months. Some that I'm super excited to get to, some that I'll be starting quite soon, others that will probably I won't be getting to for a little bit, but I am still just as curious to dive in and see what they are all about. Overall, I mean, I probably going to need more room on the shelves, so I might have to do an unhaul as I go through all these books too. I would love to know though, were there any on this list that you think I should prioritize over others if you've read them already? And what was the last book you hauled? Leave your comments down below. I would love to hear from you. As always, thank you so much for watching, and take care of yourselves.